Hello everybody and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Guapish Rule 34. As always, I'm your host Tanner, and today I'm joined by my super special co-host, Nico.
Hey there guys, I'm just gonna hijack the introductions here for a second. I'm gonna issue a challenge here to all of our viewers. That's right, if you are watching this right now and you are not yet subscribed to the Patreon, then boy do I have news for you. If you create your very own Guapish Rule 34 erotica, then you will be entered into a competition in which the person who makes the best porn of us by the end of the summer will earn a year's supply of the Patreon. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.
I can't wait for that either. Just remember, I'm a top. Also joining us, my very special co-host, Jackson.
Can we kick Nico off the podcast? He made me cry earlier today. He sexually abused me, and I cannot stand for it. I'm coming out. This is my story.
Do you have anything to say in your defense, Nico?
Well, if I've learned anything from these sorts of situations, the best response is silence.
You already spoke, fucker. And we believe all women here, so you're going to jail.
Speaking of, YouTube drama and shit like that, so recently, boys, we talked about a little incident that happened with our boy Wendigoon. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, we've been mentioning that guy all the time to make sure he gets our SEO up.
Exactly. And so last time, it was about, it was about some little-known YouTuber, some tiny-ass dude who was running his mouth at the guy.
Someone no one's ever even heard of.
Yeah.
Literally at the pretty much exact same time, there was an actual, shit show going on.
It was a couple of weeks before, dude. We got in there before it happened.
I feel like I saw this start happening, a week maybe after, your thing, but go off, King.
And the thing that we are hinting at here is, of course, the big video that I believe his name's In Praise of Shadows did. In Praise of Shadows.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who are not aware, which I'm assuming Jackson is not here, there's this YouTuber called In Praise of Shadows. He's a horror YouTuber, you see, and recently he created a 3-hour-long video all about how problematic it is that we have conservative individuals in the horror space. And about 40 minutes of said video is devoted to taking down Wendigoon, our boy, our poor innocent child.
Did you watch the video?
I sure did, dude.
Oh, okay. I thought he took it down, didn't he?
He did take it down. However, of course, because this was such a big deal, plenty of people re-uploaded it afterward.
Right.
So yeah, basically, I'm assuming you haven't seen it whatsoever.
No, I didn't bother looking into it. I pretty much got the gist of it from Reddit threads, and this guy sounds like a complete psycho.
Yeah, he sounds like he might be a little out of it mentally, perhaps.
Yeah, he's slipping.
Yeah, so so just kind of touching on first, of course, the big Wendigoon portion of it. Most of the stuff he has to say about Wendigoon isn't really about Wendigoon himself whatsoever, and it's instead just about his friends and the people who Wendigoon follows on Twitter.
To be fair, that's most of the criticisms he had of most of the people he mentions in that video. It's all guilt by association stuff and oh, this guy gives me bad vibes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fucking the thing that he keeps mentioning is well, if you're in a room full of Nazis and you yourself are not a Nazi, well, guess what? You're still a Nazi.
Yeah, right.
So, some notable mentions, some YouTubers he brings up that Wendigoon is friends with is, Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers, because, he's transphobic, because he recently made a video about this trans content creator, I think her name was, Keffels or something like that, who was, allegedly embezzling a shitload of money from her Kickstarter or something like that, I think it was. She was, misusing the funds, I think was the big thing there.
She was scamming someone, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you're not allowed to talk bad about trans people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There's another content creator who had gotten accused of threatening rape of this other YouTuber's girlfriend named Sneeko, that dude who's a fucking psycho, and that didn't happen. So he did some great investigative work there.
Yeah.
There's this another dude who he called an alt-right bootlicker because he made a video about the police killing a pedophile.
Yeah, Donut Operator. I
Yeah,
love
that's
that
the
guy's
guy.
channel. Literally, Donut Operator's entire thing is he's like an ex-cop who breaks down police shootings. Like,
Yeah.
he'll get the body footage, and he'll just, show them on camera and be like, hey, this is what they did right, this is what they did wrong, this is why they did that, this and that kind of thing.
This psycho made a YouTube video, and as you can see in the thumbnail, he is smiling as this poor man gets shot by the police.
Yeah, and it's like a pedophile or something.
Great people he's in league with there.
Yeah.
And it's just like a fucking lot of people who like guns, who he's calling alt-right Nazis, shit like that.
Yeah, like Brandon Herrera was mentioned there, the AK guy who unfortunately recently lost his bid for U.S. Congress.
Damn.
He lost by 400 votes, dude.
I thought you were just gonna say 4.
No, it was a bit more than that, but still not very many.
Yes, 400 still is not a lot.
Considering he's a fucking YouTuber,
Yeah.
And I think the guy he was running against spent I think it was like $10 million on their race, which normally they'd spend like 1 to 2 because it's a Congress position for these boonies in Texas.
But he wanted the win.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I believe he can do it next time, though.
Yeah. And aside from that, just like some more specific things, I guess he had to say about Wendigoon were that Wendigoon grows up in like a very white area where there aren't really any minorities around, so it's best to assume that anyone who's from there is racist unless proven otherwise. Even though he also says he lives near there.
Right, yeah.
So is he a racist? Who knows? Yes, I think it
also,
definitely seems like he is.
How many black people do there need to be around in order for you to not, fall under the assume racist until proven not rule?
50%.
I don't know if there's anywhere in America that, matches that rule. I feel like black people in this country are very, let's say, feast or famine with where they can be found.
Yeah. There's also just calling out Wendigoon for using the Wendigo as his fucking mascot or whatever the fuck, because you're not supposed to do that. The Cherokees or whatever will be angry.
You're appropriating native culture.
Yeah.
What are they doing with it?
Even though apparently Wendigoon his grandfather is Native American, so
I think even that is what? Who gives a fuck? It's a creepy skeleton monster that eats people.
Yeah.
Cultural who cares? Are we really going to glom onto fictional monsters as such integral parts of someone's cultural heritage that for anyone else,
Tanner.
Yeah, for anyone else to find it cool is fucking blasphemy. The funny thing I do find about the constant Wendigoon hate is that a lot of Wendigoon's defenders are also just taking the wrong approach.
Yeah.
Because people will say shit like, oh, I don't like Wendigoon because I think he's a Christian and a conservative. And then a lot of Wendigoon's supporters will then go, well, he's not that kind of Christian and he's not a conservative. But I'm like, I could be spitting out my fucking ass, But as someone who identifies largely as a Christian and a conservative, I think that Wendigoon is those things, and instead of
he's the worst kinds as well on top of that.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
a MGTOW boy all the way.
Instead of coping and saying he isn't those things, the correct response is, yeah, but he's a good person, so it doesn't matter what his, personal beliefs are.
Yeah.
What was it? That one guy you mentioned where he's he's trying to use his platform to convert people. And I think I summed it up pretty succinctly with the Christian is trying to be a Christian. Yeah, he's gonna do the thing. You don't have to watch his fucking videos, dude. No one is being strapped down to a chair with a gun put up their head and being forced to watch his video on what really happened at Ruby Ridge.
Yeah, and fucking all the people who were called out in this video basically for associating with him have all just pretty much talked about hey, I really don't understand the hate here. Wendigoon's a pretty chill guy. I like him. He's like a really genuinely nice person. So
Yeah.
yeah, even if they do have like differing political beliefs or whatever, it seems like people generally like the guy.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be a good person, though, because that means you're hiding something.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're a complete shithead in public, though, that means you're secretly moral. Which I guess is the standard we use on the internet to judge people.
Yeah. And yeah, aside from like the Wendigoon stuff, he just kind of goes on with like the rest of the video, which is just like fucking, he hates the conservatives are allowed in the horror space, I guess. Where
What
it's
does
like,
that even mean?
like he, part of the video is like he talks about going to like horror.
Hold on, one sec. Aren't these the same kinds of people that would say that conservatism in and of itself is a primarily fear-driven ideology and that's why it's bad? So wouldn't it make sense that we're in the horror space?
Well, no, Tanner, because he mentions that like horror is all about like positivity or some shit. And that's why they shouldn't belong there, man.
Horror is about inclusivity. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right? And yeah, like he went to some fucking like horror convention, and he's really upset that they had like some guest speaker who's like some actor who's in some fucking movies who had been like on Tucker Carlson at some point, and he hated that this guy was there, even though that dude is apparently also gay and a Democrat.
That's funny. Who was
Like, he associated with Tucker Carlson, so he can't be here.
Right. This isn't correct, but, like, the only thing that comes to my mind is, like, was it that guy who said he used to suck Barack Obama's dick in college?
Potentially, dude. That would be
crazy.
wild if it's the case.
Oh, was it, no. Yeah, I don't know. I would not be able to venture a guess.
Yeah, I don't fucking remember who it was. But yeah, that's about it for the most part for that video. Like, you know, as Tanner said previously, he took it down. He, like, kind of issued some apologies. He was like,
didn't.
oh, well, he kind of did. He was like, well, these are, like, some things I got wrong, guys. I'm sorry. He apologized to, like, a few of the content creators.
To me, his apology came across as, like, sorry for keeping it too real, dickheads.
Yeah.
You know? I'm sorry I'm too honest for you, you know? That kind of shit.
Yeah, in, like, his fucking Discord, he mentioned that, like, oh, yeah, I don't actually really want to apologize to any of those people. Like, none of them actually had anything to, like, say about, like, my accusations against them. So...
It's because his accusations were, like, there was nothing to even, like, counter. It was all, like, these vague, like, hey, this guy hangs out with this guy, and I have this... 1,000-mile perception of that person that they're like this.
Yeah. I think it really is just a case of people fucking hating on the big YouTubers because they're popular and they're not.
Yeah. And also, like, are we really... I agree that is, like, the motivation, but also it's so stupid because, like, Wendigoon is popular, yes. He's not, like, the biggest thing in the fucking world. He's still fairly niche.
Yeah.
It's just, like... You're attacking the bigger fish in the pond, but you haven't even seen the ocean yet, you know?
And that extends to, like, pretty much every fucking big YouTuber. They're always just, like, getting embroiled in these fucking bullshit controversies. Like, even, like, the biggest dude on the planet, Mr. Beast, he's constantly getting shit on because he's, like, a charitable person.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I like making money, but also using it to help people sometimes.
Yeah.
What a fucking dickhead. This white man.
Yeah, this fucking piece of shit.
This fucking animal.
Yeah, people just, like, fucking seem to have a problem with him making videos about doing something charitable, which is very strange. It's like, well, these videos make a lot of money, so he's not allowed to fucking give people stuff, I guess.
You should enjoy that money and not give it out to people.
Yeah. Like, if he wasn't making these types of videos as well, then people just fucking complain that he's not giving to charity.
Yeah. And if he was given to charity secretly, they'd be like, why isn't he also raising awareness? Making a one-time donation doesn't do shit.
Yeah, like, fucking, even if he was just, like, purely making these videos and, like, donating a bunch of money and, like, doing all this shit for selfish reasons, like, it's still doing good in the world, so...
Yeah. But we can't have that.
Like, the money doesn't automatically stop working if it was donated for the wrong reasons. Like, I just really don't get, like, how you get into the mental state where you have to start doing a bunch of these mental gymnastics where you see this video about like a tribe of African children getting a bunch of shoes, and you see it as a bad thing.
Right. It's because people they don't really care what you're accomplishing or about any sort of like, pragmatic what is being done by anyone. They just care about your intentions, even if it's the fucking imagined intentions in their own minds.
Yeah.
Their fevered schizophrenic minds.
Maybe white people just aren't allowed to help black people anymore. That might be it.
That's true. Yeah.
Otherwise, you're a white savior,
Yeah. Can't be a white savior, dude. Like.
Yeah. Unless, of course, you're, like, actively taking that money, in which case it's just reparations.
Yeah. Let them thug it out, dude. What percentage of, like, really active internet users do you think are just out-and-out schizophrenic?
40%.
That sounds about right to me, honestly. I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah.
Dude, I started reading a Jules Verne novel today.
No way. Was it Where the Red Fern Grows?
No.
Damn.
Much earlier than that. And Jules Verne, I previously, many years ago, probably back in high school, maybe even middle school, I had attempted reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. And I had to give up on that pretty quickly because there are two problems with reading a Jules Verne novel. One, they were written in like the 1800s, so they're using an earlier version of modern English that is kind of hard to parse sometimes. And then also, Jules Verne is a massive fucking nerd. And he insists on using the Latin name for every fucking fish and piece of seaweed in the ocean that he's describing. And so it just becomes, literally, there are chapters in there where it's like numbers, the chapter numbers in the Bible, where it's just paragraph after paragraph of, Euclides, son of this, son of that, son of this. It's like that, but it's just Latin names of fucking starfish and shit.
Yeah.
You're just like, what does this have to do with exploring the ocean? Like, Christ.
He's showing off to you, dude. He wants to flex on you a little bit.
He's
sure mocking you, bro.
That's literally his whole deal, though. He's like a massive science nerd that wrote science fiction books, but wanted to, keep it as scientifically accurate as possible.
Yeah,
like, in the book I'm reading, it's got a lot to do with geology, and so he just has paragraph after paragraph talking about fucking rocks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He also did like Around the World in 80 Days, right? That Jackie Chan movie.
He did. Yeah, the Jackie Chan movie. Exactly. I think he wasn't the time traveler, was he? There's no...
I don't know.
I don't think he was, but I wouldn't be surprised because he is like the science fiction writer.
It looks like that was H.G. Wells.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Written in 1895.
Jesus.
Crazy stuff.
Well, Jackson, do you really have much to say about any of the things we just talked about?
I have absolutely nothing to add.
Damn.
You got any YouTuber drama going on you want to comment about?
I would talk there in the Genshin Impact space, or I guess just the gacha games in general space. There was that big expose that
they're all pedophiles.
No, it was a big content creator called like That Asian Guy, aka Atsu. I talked about it to you guys for a little bit. I don't know basically anything about any of this because I could not care less about this kind of shit at all. But it sounds like the TLDR is basically a bunch of people are tossing dirt at everyone, and then everyone in this space is a fucking asshole and a dickhead and terrible. And this guy like tried to kill himself like a couple of times, and his wife cheated on him. He's in a horrible headspace, and he quit content creation and basically scorched earth and like threw everyone else under the bus and said that they all did horrible shit too. And now the whole community's kind of on fire, and I think it's funny. I don't know basically anything about it though. I don't have any sides on this. Maybe Atsu's lying or something. Who knows? I don't give a shit. I think it's all kind of funny.
Yeah,
it does sound pretty funny. I like the idea of like an entire, micro community just collapsing all at once.
Everyone in this community just seems like a fucking dickhead, to be completely honest. Basically, every content creator I've ever seen is a fucking asshole to each other, and they all just don't really seem like great people. And I'm not surprised that there's a ton of drama and stuff that built up, and a ton of resentment and all this shit. It's not very surprising to me. I do think it's funny that it's going out like one big fiery shebang, though.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that's bound to happen when you have like those tiny sort of communities, though. They're just like kind of built around like a couple of people. Where it's like, yeah, once...
This is not a tiny community at all.
I'm speaking
These are creators with millions of subscribers.
Yeah, but like, when like there are very few like prominent content creators within the space, you know? It's like once those people go down, it's suddenly like, oh, we're all just fucking imploding now.
I think you're underestimating the scale of the gacha game community.
Potentially. Who's that one like really big guy in it who loves gambling on Twitch, like Hungrybox? No, it's the fucking fighting game guy. Who's the guy, Jackson?
On Twitch? I don't fucking know.
Okay.
I don't know any of them that like gambling on. I mean, they're all fucking. If they play gacha games, they're all fucking gambling on Twitch. Technically, I don't know if that's the type of gambling you're talking about. If you're talking about like real gambling.
No, yeah, it is just that sort of. It's just some dude who fucking loves gacha games. Who fucking cares? Who cares about that sort of thing?
Tectone's like the big kind of.
Yes, that's it. Tectone. That's the guy who was thinking of.
Yeah, he's a fucking asshole. Every time I watch him, it just seems insufferable. I don't know why people pay attention to him at all. Every time I like clicking on a streamer every once in a while too, and he's just always being a fucking dick.
Yeah, I've seen him on like a few podcasts every now and then where like he'll be a fucking special guest and he just seems like a total dickhead.
The gacha queen, you know how to pick him, what can I say?
Yeah, I guess so.
You guys got any books that you tried reading and then fell off of?
If you asked me in like high school, I may have had an answer for you. I have not read a book in a very long time.
Bummer.
How about manga? Just extend it to that.
I haven't attempted to read a new manga and dropped it in a very long time as well.
Bummer.
What can I say? I pick based shit that I want to read.
I think my most recent one is Claymore. I think that's what it would be. It's like the predecessor to Berserk. It's like the big one that people love fucking talking about. But I just kind of got bored of it eventually because it kind of felt like it sort of just like lost the plot, I guess. Which seems to be a very common thing that seems to happen with a lot of the manga that I read. So maybe that's more of a me thing. I'm just not really picking the right ones here.
That's funny.
I assume you bring that up for a reason, Tanner. Do you have an example?
I literally just talked about my example.
No freaking way I wasn't paying any attention.
Cool.
Well, Jackson, recently, you and I had a gay old time where we had a cute little date in Portland. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, you got yourself a new car, a new to you car specifically, and there was shenanigans in Portland on the way there.
So, you know, people definitely like to romance Portland a little bit here, you know? It's like, whoa.
Do they?
The people who don't live anywhere near it like to romance it.
I don't think anyone romances it. I think everyone shits on it.
You'd be surprised. A lot of people see the good sides of Portland and not a whole lot else. I see people talking about like wanting to go visit Portland all this shit all the time. I see people saying they want to move to Portland all the fucking time.
I guess I have met those people, but they're usually like gay or trans. So,
anyways, go on, Chico.
Yeah. So we hit up Portland recently, and the fucking moment that we got there, shit was starting to hit the fan. Okay.
Like what was happening?
We fucking we're just like fucking driving down the street, okay, heading on over to the place where I'm picking up my car, and there's like homeless dudes standing in the street blocking traffic, and there's like this just right in front of us, these people get into a collision and start getting out of their cars yelling at each other. We immediately just like drive past this big ass homeless camp with police busting it. It was a fucking riot, dude. And that all happened within the span of like 2 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It was a very nice and distilled little Portland experience for us. It was great because like just a little bit before that, we were driving across the big old bridges around Portland. We're like, man, Portland seems like pretty cool, like in concept to check out, but whenever we actually go there, it just seems like a total shithole. And of course, lo and behold, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was basically everything that could have been wrong about Portland was wrong. Fucking tweakers walking around, homeless camps everywhere. Like a whole fucking block was homeless camp. Yeah. Cops fucking swarming it. The random people blocking the road. Fucking dickheads getting into a fight in the middle of the road, or I assume they were trying to do something of that nature. It was crazy. It was a romp.
Yeah. Those people are fucking psychos. But hey, at the end of the day, we got a sweet-ass new ride, so can't complain too much. Yeah, even like the fucking guy I was picking up the car from, he was like this big ass like garage that just had shattered windows everywhere and shit like that. Like, we walk in there and he immediately locks the door. He's like, oh yeah, really rough neighborhood around here, you know?
What the fuck? Was this a dealership?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. It's some fucking like business that my credit union is like associated with, I guess.
What?
Because like I was in the market for a new car. And I was, trying to get an auto loan from my bank. And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we have like these people who we can hook you up with. You just like let them know what kind of car you want, and they'll go out and find it for you. And they'll just like, they'll hit you up, make it a real easy, smooth experience. And so I was like, fuck it, why not? Why not go for it? I don't want to deal with a dealership or whatever.
Yeah. It's basically like an intermediary dealership service where they like buy the car from a different dealership and then they sell it to you through them.
Yeah, exactly. And they did in fact make the process very simple and easy for me.
That's good, I guess.
Yeah. So guys, recently we had, of course, our beloved man, Jeff Keighley, do his big old Summer Games Fest. Did you guys check that out whatsoever?
No.
Bummer. Well, as is kind of customary with these last couple of years of it, yeah, I think, I don't know if I'm just really starting to get jaded or what, but yeah, I just was not really into any of the fucking games that they were showing off whatsoever this year.
Let me pull up a list of what they got here. Everything announced at Summer Games Fest. Lego Horizon!
Right? Yeah, like, so really the only standouts I can think of were they had fucking Civilization 7. Holy smokes, guys. Can't wait to play that in like 5 years once the game becomes good. They also had like a new Arkham game, dude. They had a new Batman Arkham game.
Dude, you don't want to play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero?
No.
What I find funny here, by the way, is I'm looking at the title. It is Dragon Ball, sparking exclamation point 0. Very silly.
They really know how to name them.
Do you think Arkham Shadow is going to be... Oh, wait. Oh, it's a VR thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Batman Arkham Shadow trailer introduces players to VR Gotham City, the MetaQuest 3 exclusive Batman Arkham Shadow.
I thought it was just like a new, Arkham game in general. I didn't realize it was some stupid VR bullshit. Well, never mind. I guess Civilization is the only thing I had to look forward to there whatsoever. Fuck the Summer Games Fest.
Hold on, let me see
Jeff
what else
Keighley,
we got.
you fucking hack.
What about Power Rangers, Rita's Rewind? Hold on. There's gotta be something cool here. The First Descendant, did that look cool?
No, not really.
Damn it.
Like, the problem with a lot of these is... actually, they showed off some more of, like, Wukong. That looks cool.
Valorant is coming to consoles.
No way. Yeah, like, fucking... The typical thing that happens with these sorts of, like, big gaming bullshit is that it's just, like, a bunch of trailers that don't actually show any gameplay whatsoever. So you have no idea what the fuck the actual game is. It's like, well, those were some neat visuals, I guess.
Dude, you didn't love the Among Us animated series?
No, I can't say that I did.
They finally showed off Slitterhead gameplay. What about that? Okay. What the fuck? They're making a Killer Bean game? This is the most retarded shit I've ever seen.
Right, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Holy shit.
It looks like shit. There was like fucking... There's like some fucking like ARPG Souls-like game that's been like talked about for quite a while now. I don't remember the fucking name of it though.
Phantom Blade Zero?
Yeah, Phantom Blade Zero, that's the one. Which, that also looks cool, but...
Yeah, there's really fucking nothing on here.
Yeah, exactly.
This shit all sucks, dude. A Killer Bean game. What the fuck are they doing?
They show off a new character for Honkai Star Rail though, Jackson. Are you excited for that?
Dude, I literally don't play that game.
No way. So, as usual, Jeff Keighley, maybe try to... I don't know, get some cooler games, dude. Why didn't you get Silksong trailer, huh?
Damn it, Nico. Every time someone says the word Silksong, it gets delayed by 1 day.
Silksong. That's a fucking tongue twister. Why haven't any of our patrons, like, tried to change their names to a tongue twister yet? I feel like that's an untapped market there.
Maybe someone will do it then.
Okay.
Fucking... Yeah, Silksong's not coming out until 2027 or some shit.
Damn.
They actually want to beat Duke Nukem Forever's development time and then have it actually be good.
There's some other game that holds the title for longest development now that still has not come out, by the way. It's about that
Beyond
fucking girl.
Good and Evil 2.
Yes, that's it.
I was making a joke, but
it's exactly that.
There's no way they're actually still making that, right?
They had a trailer for it a couple of years ago.
Dude, that was literally fucking that was like 2019, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure that was pre-COVID they showed that shit.
They might have. I guess there was like some Sony Games bullshit where they're like, hey, check out this trailer. It's still here. We're still gonna make it eventually.
It's still coming. Slitterhead has been dormant for a while. What's the most recent update on Beyond Good and Evil 2? Here's one from mynintendonews.com that came out 2 days ago. According to Tom Henderson, who is some guy at Insider Gaming, he says that a new trailer for Beyond Good and Evil 2 has been sitting in the vaults for about a year. Okay.
Well, I'm sure that whenever it comes out, it'll absolutely be worth the wait.
Oh, yeah. What even is that game supposed to be, you know?
I don't know. I've seen I don't really know much about the first game, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that they're like some... Like, the way I always compartmentalize it in my mind is like Jak and Daxter 2.
Dude, it was announced in fucking... Actually, Nico, guess. What year was Beyond Good and Evil 2 first announced?
2005.
Oh, you're a bit early. It's 2008.
Damn.
It's also a prequel to the first one. This is gonna be such a fucking shit show, dude. Yeah. There's no way. This what the hell? Wait, this article says it's only 2 weeks old. Oh, it was updated on May 27th. But for some reason it's set for consoles that you can play it on. It says PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
That's pretty fun.
That's very funny.
It would be very funny if one of those games has just been like stuck in development hell forever. They should never update like what console is going to come out on. So like some fucking game that's been getting worked on for fucking 25 years comes on PS2.
Dude, this has been in development so long that the creative director fucking died.
That's very fun.
This shit is never coming up.
Yeah,
How much money do you think Ubisoft is spending on this thing that they're not going to get back?
I'm gonna say like 40 grand.
40 grand, yeah.
Yeah.
5 months ago.
Oh, well, alright, boys. Do we have anything else we want to touch on before we get into the big time, the big show?
Dude, fuck it. Let's do this topic. Why are furries in charge of the internet?
That's a great question. Jackson, I feel like you should have the most information on this. Like, fucking furries seem to be taking up like the majority of like STEM jobs. They're like big-time programmers, like they basically run Discord. What the fuck is up with that? Why did that happen?
I don't fucking know.
I think it's just because, when you have no shame, you're able to make a lot of big territorial gains, if you will, especially on the internet. Like if you, if you have an opponent where if you say to them online, hey, you fuck dogs, and they say, and? What are you gonna do to them now,
Yeah, I guess it does kind of make sense because, like, well, if you were unaware, fursuits are insanely expensive, and all these computer science jobs, they definitely make some bank. So conceivably, furries are the only ones who really could, like, be able to thrive in their sort of lifestyle by having that sort of job, and also like. I feel like, just generally, furries get bullied a lot, and by taking these sorts of jobs, they're able to, like, get big positions and, like, moderation and stuff like that, and, maybe they can do a little Trotsky situation there and just, like, kind of wipe out all the people who they don't like on the internet.
Goodbye, dead internet theory. Hello, fur internet theory.
Fur affinity internet theory.
Well, hold on a second. Let's not go too far,
Do you guys feel like you were ever in danger of becoming furries?
No.
No?
Yeah, not a chance.
Okay.
0% chance of that shit.
That's because you guys didn't watch enough Disney movies growing up.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the exact opposite of that, frankly.
You didn't get to watch The Lion King and see the way that his Simba and his fucking baddie were giving each other them fucking eyes. Have you seen that image where she's giving him the fucking eyes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That shit converted so many poor innocent men.
Including yourself at the time, briefly.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Why?
No, for me, it was definitely like fucking Roxanne from the Goofy movie, dude. She was the one who started getting me into that horrible lane, but luckily I was able to pull myself out.
But if you were Roxanne, you wouldn't pull out.
Oh, absolutely not.
Why did furry settle on the wolf being the, like, default one?
That's a good question.
Like, what's up with that?
It's just like wolf and, like, I don't know, any sort of, like, canines in general. I think it's just because they're such a popular animal. I don't think it's really anything beyond that.
Why are wolves a popular animal, though? I don't really get it.
Because, humans have, like, a close relationship with dogs, and wolves are just, like, the more badass version of dogs. And, like, it represents the wolf inside of them, the one who just, like, wants freedom.
I gotta see if there's an answer for why wolves are the default furry. Here we go. On r/furry, why are most people in the fandom foxes or wolves? Very popular species, canine. This is literally like word for word the answer you just gave, Nico. That's funny.
Yeah, I guess it just isn't that deep,
Because it's my favorite animal, more basic animals. Few things going for them. Not domestic. What? Them not being domestic makes it easier to imagine personalities for them? Huh? That doesn't... Okay. I think this answer makes more sense to me, where it's like a lot of, the newbie furries are just lazy, and there's already so much fan art and shit of, anthropomorphic wolves that they can just glom onto that.
Yeah, that does also make sense.
Shout out to all the furries out there that go for weird shit like iguanas,
Yeah.
At least you're going your own way.
Addendum to the erotic fanfic challenge. Alternatively, if you don't want to write, you can also draw us as our fursonas.
There you go. I want to be a tortoise.
A tortoise, there we go. What would... draw me as like a fucking... a sheep, I guess, because I'm a sheep.
I kind of see you as a lemur.
Yeah. Sure, draw me as a lemur, I guess. Jackson, what do you want to be?
Yeah.
Dude, I want to be a fucking blobfish.
Okay.
There we go.
Jackson does not scream blobfish to me. I see him as more like some kind of predatory bird.
There we go. And then
I have
make
a feeling
Dylan
I know why.
Yeah. And then make Dylan a seahorse.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
Because he's so breedable?
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Speaking of breedable.
Speaking of breedable, is it time for us to hop on down and breed the old Guapish at the movies?
Guapish at the movies! Hochimo, wochemin, hamachimadu.
Dude, Jackson, what did we watch this week?
Our Patreon pick for this week was the 1974 film Where the Red Fern Grows, as requested by Steve Harvey's Ghost, aka somebody that I don't know the name of.
Hunter!
Thank you, Hunter, for requesting this movie, dude. Appreciate it. I guess I'll give the rundown of it. So we've got a kid, and he wants dogs, and the dogs die, and that's the movie. All right, guys, what are we thinking about this film?
I think I have a haiku as inspired by Where the Red Fern Grows, actually. Why did I write down the title with a question mark at the end? Anyway, a young rural lad dreams of having his own hounds. Oh no, bad kitty!
More like Where the Red Fern Blows, am I right, guys?
I think it's so fucking annoying that this movie has a very grounded approach to its storytelling for the most part. Bad things just kind of happen. They don't, play it off a ton. Like, when the grandfather... I think the grandfather falling is a really good example of that. Where he gets lost. They're kind of, caught up in the moment of what they're doing. And he just fucking eats it. And he could have died there, but, it's a very realistic way of showing it off, where they don't, immediately draw a lot of attention to it, in this really dramatic way. It's just something that kind of fucking happened. And it's pretty representative of how they handled worse things happening in basically the whole rest of the movie. And then for some reason, the most impactful scene, of course, where one of the dogs dies while fighting that mountain lion, they just fucking go right before it, and this is when something bad happens or some shit. I don't know exactly what they say, but they call major attention and break all the immersion to this happening again. Pretty fucking stupid. I don't know why they did that. It completely takes away all of the impact from that scene.
It's a movie of a different era, man. Things were just done differently back then. They didn't know how to make movies yet.
They were still figuring it out. They had those cameras that you had to crank.
Yeah.
I think this is a quaint little film. I think mostly I kind of appreciate it as acting as like a time capsule. Kind of gives you a little glimpse into what life was like for these people in this place and this time. It's nothing complicated. It's extremely no frills, I don't know. There's really not much to say about it. It's a very straightforward story,
This This is pretty much a nothing film. It's basically just, we're just peering into the life of this young boy, and not a whole lot happens. There's, like, of course, the big metaphor this movie's trying to go for with the story of the red fern and something, but I don't really know what the fuck we're supposed to take away from that, to be honest.
Love is beautiful, Jackson.
That's so crazy. Anyways, yeah, I think this movie's just okay. I think it's pretty fucking boring for a good amount of it.
Yeah.
There's not a whole ton that happens. When things do happen, it's not very exciting. Even when the kid fucking fell on an act, I didn't even know it happened, for God's sake. It's just, they just play everything so straight, which I touted as a positive at first, but it's also a negative to it because it just kind of makes for boring storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie's kind of just a nothing film. I really have nothing to say about it. It's just we're just watching some fucking kid, and he has dogs, and he likes the dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these were the types of films they liked back then, you know? They didn't want anything too fancy that would really challenge their way of thinking. They just wanted to see dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of wanting to see dogs, here's what Dylan thought about this movie.
Alright, so this is going to be my review on Where the Red Fern Grows. This was a old classic movie, I guess. I know I've always heard of this movie in passing. It's never been something I thought I'd ever go out of my way to watch, which obviously isn't the case here, but, you know, I didn't think there was anything wrong with the movie. I thought the movie was pretty wholesome. The acting is as expected for the 70s. The plot is kind of just whatever. This kind of just feels like just an old-timey TV show, to be completely honest. I don't really know what else to say about this movie. I didn't dislike it, but it just didn't feel like a movie, to be completely honest. But it was a nice, like I said, nice watch, nonetheless wholesome family movie. Both the dogs dying at the end really kind of put a damper on things. But, you know, what are you gonna do, I guess. But, yeah, anyway, without getting too much further into this, because I don't really have much else to say about this movie, I rated Where the Red Fern Grows at a C+.
Wow, that guy loves dogs now, doesn't he? Anyway, as for our rankings, I'm thinking I will start us off here. I'm going to give this one a C-.
I guess I'll go. I'm definitely the highest on this movie. I did genuinely like this one. So I'm giving it a B+.
Typical Tanner fucking liking movies. Dylan gave it a C+. Jackson, where are you falling?
I gave it a flat C.
Okay.
I don't think it... I think some of the acting is all right. I think it does well for its time. I could see showing this movie to my kid and be like, hey, you little fucking Helen, you piece of shit, be like this fucker, or I'm gonna enslave you. Anyways, that lands it at a C+ overall.
Whoa. By the way, you don't really get the time skip at all for him saving up for the dogs. It took 2 years.
No, fuck, I forgot to mention that. Like, I feel like that's the part that fucks me up the most about this movie, is that there's no fucking progress of time whatsoever throughout the entire thing, because no one ages whatsoever. So you have no idea how long he's had these dogs, how long he spent saving up for them. He's like, it sure took a long time, which, like, you know, to a kid that can mean like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're probably like 3 years deep into the time span of this movie with the dogs growing up to be, you know, like the adult dogs they are at the point they died, and prior to him getting them, and he looks the exact fucking same. He's a kid. Kids grow up real fast and change very dramatically in that period. So
especially his little tiny sisters.
Yeah. I really don't like that you said that, but I'm not going to change my fucking ranking.
Also, he would have been going from, in those 3 years, from 12 to 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, he should look dramatically different.
Kids didn't hit puberty as early back then because of poor nutrition.
They should have found 2 generic blonde kids to have a pre and post as.
Yeah. They should have, and also they should have had some, you know, some establishing shots where you show the seasons changing or some shit, you know?
Yeah, because like that, it's also just like the same throughout the whole thing. So for all we know, this all took place over one summer.
Exactly.
Except for that one time where it looks the exact same and then randomly it starts like fucking ice raining or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's about it for Where the Red Fern Grows, boys. Jackson, what else did we watch?
Tanner's pick of the week was the 1985 film Police Story, which in fact is a very straightforward comedy. Take us away.
That's right, guys. Police Story is about police officer Kakui Chan, who I don't know how to characterize this guy. I kind of want to call him a goofball. I guess I'll stick with that. He's a funny guy.
I'd say he's a doofus, personally.
Yeah, he's a bit of a doofus. But they're doing this big drug bust, headed by this sort of businessman type character that they're trying to take down. But he gets away, and Jackie Chan is tasked with protecting the guy's secretary so she can testify against him, but she decides not to do that, and so he goes free. And once the guy goes free, he has a cop killed in order to frame Jackie Chan, and then Jackie Chan kills him. The end. He doesn't kill, but, like, you know, he arrests him. Jackie Chan is like, I gotta free my name, or whatever the fuck, and then
Yeah, exactly.
he fights a bunch of people and he wins. The plot is not important in this movie. Here's my haiku as inspired by Police Story. A drug bust gone wrong. Super cop wacky hijinks. That looked like it hurt.
Yeah. A lot of these stunts look like they hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when we see, like, the fucking, like, I don't know, the fucking, like, end credits little video
the
things that they've got, where people are just fucking constantly being wheeled off.
Yeah. It's funny, the bloopers were, I was cracking up on them, because they're like 75%, goofy little acting mistakes, and, it's like Jackie Chan smiling and being like, I messed up that scene, and then 25% people being carted off to the hospital.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Do we have a confirmed kill count on this film?
I think it was like 50 people, dude.
Sounds about right.
It was half of China.
Like, did you see that scene where they were just, like, bulldozing through a bunch of, like, ragged-ass shacks that a bunch of, like, people are just living in? Just plowing through them with cars?
That shit was fucking awesome, dude. That's where this movie excels. I think it excels in action and comedy. I found the action scenes incredibly exciting, and I thought the comedy, shockingly enough, despite the language barrier, I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, like, going into this movie, I was not expecting much whatsoever. I was really expecting to be like, it's just some fucking, like, action movie, maybe there'll be some jokes here and there or something, but no, it really succeeded in both fucking areas it was going for here. Like, it was shockingly, incredibly entertaining.
Yeah. I think there's some pacing issues. Not major, though, but yeah, it slows down in a few places. The big thing that comes to mind to me when I'm watching Jackie Chan do shit is I'm like, how is this man so fucking nimble? And that is not a word that I normally use. Like, Jackson pointed out when he's going to save Secretary Girl, the way he just vaults that gate in the most effortless movement I've ever seen. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, here's a little known fact about Jackie Chan, actually. He doesn't do any of his own stunts.
Shut up. I do think his character turn where he turns into Punish Jackie is a little, let's say, sudden.
Yeah.
Like, he just kind of turns crazy and arguably evil very quickly.
He needs to clear his name, Tanner.
Yeah, I guess, but yeah, that shit was funny.
Once he gets framed, he just goes on a fucking bloodbath mission here.
Yeah, he's fucking insane from that point forward.
He's taking people out left and right. Which
is very fun to watch, but a bit nonsensical. But
like the way that like the movie ends with him just like beating the shit out of these people.
Yeah, he performs
like the fucking
a Mortal
lawyer,
Kombat
the fucking
finisher.
Like, yeah. He does an ultra combo on this crooked businessman or whatever the fuck, and the movie just fucking ends. It just freeze frames. There's no conclusion to anything whatsoever.
Yeah. Like freeze frames on him, screaming out in rage or whatever.
It's like, what do we take away from that?
Right. Jackson, you typically don't like action movies. How'd you like this one?
Or comedies, for that matter.
Yeah,
True.
This is a 2-for-1 special for genres I generally don't like. I would agree. I think this movie is more entertaining than I expected it to be, given I did not know it was a comedy, figuring I know nothing about Jackie Chan. I thought some of the comedy was funny. I liked some of the gags. I thought the action was funny, just because of how over the top they made all of it.
Yeah.
The plot's kind of stupid. I couldn't care less. A lot of the comedy did, in fact, fall flat pretty quickly for me as well. It's okay. I think it's an alright film. I think it's a fun time to watch, but it's absolutely nothing special to me. I really don't have a whole ton to say about it.
That's
Except
fair
that
enough.
I appreciate the commitment to the bit.
It was definitely a movie that, there isn't a whole lot you truly can say about it. It's like, hey guys, there were some really fucking cool action moments, and there were some pretty silly moments too. So go check it out if that sounds like it's right up your alley.
Yeah.
Haha, I like this one action moment. Haha, I like that one comedy action moment.
Did you guys see the part where Jackie Chan like punched that guy and then he like turned around and punched the other guy? That was fucking crazy.
I like the part where we vaulted the vent smoothly.
Yeah.
The vent smoothly.
To be.
And speaking of people who enjoy comedy, here's what Dylan thought about it.
So this is going to be my review on Police Story, a movie that is quite literally pretty much everything that I heard is done by Jackie Chan. Yeah, this was a pretty interesting movie. I think in the summary, not even the summary, basically its tags, it was like a comedy action thriller. I definitely got the action thriller parts. If this movie was trying to be funny, it didn't really connect. I thought the acting was pretty serviceable to okay. I don't know what the standards would be. It was kind of just whatever. The plot was pretty interesting. I thought, you just got this cop guy who's basically the best at what he does, but he's also pretty much lying to almost everybody. He mentally snaps at the end of the movie, and he's just trying to get the big case. He's trying to get his way. And I like that a lot of the stunts in this movie were almost full speed, and that's something you don't see too often. But I also like the idea of them being able to have destructible environments, just, smashing through glass, smashing through walls. And that's kind of like a lot of first try kind of shots too. So that was pretty cool. And I also liked at the end during the credits, they had people being brought out on gurneys and stretchers and stuff. So I think this movie might have been a little more full speed than I originally thought. But I think, and this is kind of off tangent, but I like how this movie felt like a passion project for Jackie Chan, because you could see how much fun he was having and how much he was just trying to guide and direct people at the end of the movie. And I thought the environment, the setting was nice. And the acting was, like I said, pretty serviceable. I don't really have a ton else to say about this movie. It wasn't anything phenomenal, but I also don't think it was terrible. So I think with all that in mind, I'll just go ahead and give my rating. So for Police Story, I gave it a B-.
He didn't realize it was a comedy.
How is this possible?
It just baffles the mind,
This is like Happiness all over again, except he didn't give it F tier.
Yeah.
True.
He just has some sort of mental block with comedies, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe that's why so many of our interactions with him turn awkward, because we use comedy a lot, and he just doesn't...
It just goes right over his head.
Yeah.
Just doesn't get... He's like, what do you
That
mean
would actually
by that?
explain so fucking much.
You've recontextualized Dylan.
Yeah. Also, when he referred to it as destructible environments, and he's talking about, real-ass life...
Yeah.
Very funny.
They did just do a lot of destruction in the film, but yeah, destructible environments is a queer way of describing that.
It reminds me of that time he referred to a live-action movie as having good graphics.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of modern filmmaking, it's not probably incorrect, given like 90% of everything's done on a green screen.
True. Anyway, are we ready to rate this one, I guess?
I think so. What are you giving it, man?
I so desperately wish I could justify putting this one in the S tier. But
then why don't you?
I can't. It's just the fact that it is just action and comedy and just a nonsense plot and plenty of awkward stuff that isn't very entertaining. Just I would not feel right putting it in the S tier, unfortunately. I think it's entertaining enough to be in there, but it just has a few too many things holding it back. So I'm gonna be giving this one an A+.
I was gonna say Dylan gave it a B-, and he didn't understand it was a comedy and seemed to not really enjoy it that much. And I'm the exact opposite, but I gave it a B, which is not much better.
There we go. Well, Tanner, you may not be willing to give an S tier, but I'm kidding. I'm gonna give an A-.
Whoa.
And that puts it at a B+ overall.
Wow.
Holy shit.
our most common rank strikes again.
Yeah. How does it keep happening?
Nico's pick of the week is the 1990 film Kindergarten Cop, which was much better than Police Story, I might say. Anyways, Nico, take us away.
Yeah, so Kindergarten Cop is a film about Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is a cop who needs to go undercover in a kindergarten in order to hunt down this fucking lady who he's trying to find, because her ex-husband or whatever is trying to hunt her and her little boy down so he can kidnap him. And he eventually does, but it's okay because he gets fucking blasted, as does his dirty dang old mom, and then Arnold just cucks him in the afterlife.
Here's my haiku as inspired by Kindergarten Cop.
As inspired by cuckoldry.
Homicidal cop, tasked with the care of children, learns to love again.
Aw.
How did that random drug user find out where she lives?
Because the fucking guy spilled the beans at the very start of the movie that he murdered.
Huh? Yeah, no, that's the guy I'm talking about. How'd that guy know?
Oh, that guy. I guess he was friends with her or something, I think. I can't remember exactly what it was.
He was probably just tailing her, I guess. He managed to hunt her down. He was one of hundreds of drug dealers who that guy was employing, trying to find this woman.
They did seem to be running quite the racket, so I wouldn't be shocked if that's what was happening.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
There's a very sophisticated network of drug dealers, Tanner.
Anyways, what an incredibly strange film.
Yeah, what the this is so fucking weird. It's the first half of them, not the first half, the first quarter of this movie is
10, maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's very serious, it's very hearty. It doesn't seem like some PG-13 film, and then suddenly it's just some fucking comedy about Arnold Schwarzenegger goofing off with some kids, interlooping some more serious scenes about the subplot. I'm saying subplot because it really does kind of take a backseat to most of the just dumb shenanigans he's doing with the fucking kids. The guy trying to find his ex and his kid. And then it culminates into a big action scene. This is a very strange film. Why the fuck was Arnold picked for this movie?
I feel what I'm assuming happened here was this was towards the tail end of Arnold's sort of career of being action movies, and him trying to transition over to more comedies and stuff like that, your Jingle All the Ways and such, or being twins with Danny DeVito, that sort of thing. So I think that those more actiony parts were hey guys, remember Arnold's still an action guy, you love actiony Arnold, but then we got those little sprinkles of but he can also do comedy though. You want to get warmed up to this idea because we might have some movies coming for you if you do.
Yeah, honestly, this what it seemed. You guys probably wouldn't expect this to be my kind of movie, and it still really isn't. But it was more charming than I expected it to be, and I wasn't really that bored with it, I would say. I legitimately actually liked the progression of Arnold and his weird way of coming close to the kindergartners and kind of making them more orderly and stuff. I like that. I thought it was cute. I also liked just the general progression of people's interactions around him, especially the fucking principal of the school coming around him after seeing his actions. I thought that was cool. I also the villain's kind of a funny guy. I think he's entertaining. I think his motivations of just being a complete psychopath are fun. I like just complete psychopaths for villains. I think they're silly. I wish we got to see more of him doing psychopath shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie has a lot of pluses, but it's also has a lot of negatives. There is just a bunch of wasted time of just seeing the kids do cute kid shit, and a lot of irrelevant subplots that don't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things. The whole kid being beaten, that was just a straight red herring for the the main character and also us.
Yeah. Doesn't it feel good to see that child beater get the shit rocked?
I mean, yeah, but that really only culminated in just having that one scene where we saw the principal started liking him in the end. We could have seen that in any other way that didn't waste our time.
But dude, it felt so good to see him get what's coming to him, didn't it?
No, the payoff really wasn't that great, to be completely honest. I wanted to see him fucking curb stomp that guy. He punched him in the gut once.
Yeah. I wish he did just slam his head through the glass of his car or something. That would have been sweet.
Fucking picked him up and fucking just threw him off the car and
does a
smashed
fucking,
it in.
Just breaks his back over his knee like Bane.
Yeah, exactly. Takes out his pop action shotgun and fucking blows him up.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I am honestly very shocked, though. This absolutely does not seem like it would be your kind of movie, Jackson. I fully expect you to describe it as being this is so trite and cliche. The way that those kids come and warm up to Arnold, and Arnold warms up to them. Come on, I could have seen that coming a mile away. Who do you think you're fooling here? But
yeah, I don't know, dude. It honestly was just a charming film to me. Yeah. I really don't know why specifically. There's some subconscious element to this movie that endeared me. I'm not entirely sure what that is, though. I haven't done a ton of introspection on why I like this movie very much.
It's got that
I also
X
didn't
factor
give it
for
I
you.
didn't really give it a high of a rating, too. I'm not fucking giving this like a fucking A- or anything crazy. It's still not a very good movie in the general scheme of things, but, I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, it does have perhaps some slight tonal issues if you haven't caught on to that at all yet.
What the fuck was going on with the tone of this film? It goes from, like, this could be, like, an R-rated, like, thriller film to it's just some goofy, like, kid exploring film. Very strange.
Yeah, he feels like a fucking villain in the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't know if this was really like Nico's theory of him like kind of transitioning from action to comedy, because a lot of his action movies still came out after this one. Like, he did Total Recall the same year as this one, and then he did Last Action Hero right after that one, and then Terminator 2 was like several years after this one.
You gotta ease him in, dude. So yeah, who knows? This movie is an enigma, I guess.
Yeah.
What Dylan think about the film?
Yeah, what did Dylan think about the film?
Alright, so this is going to be my review for Kindergarten Cop. And I went into this movie thinking I had seen it before. I definitely think this was one of those movies where I thought I had seen it, but maybe just seen bits and pieces of it. And I did go into this movie with the acknowledgement that Arnold Schwarzenegger might not have had the best performance. I think the performance overall for everybody else was actually pretty good. The villain, the main antagonist, I can't even say it was bad acting, because he was just trying to fit the vibe. He was trying to fit the role properly. But yeah, overall, I think the acting in general was pretty good. I thought the idea for the plot was very interesting, and how the character development of Arnold Schwarzenegger's character over time. Obviously just being a cop, he's got his own issues where he's dealing with his own version of the scenario that he's trying to save this mother and kid from. And I thought it was pretty funny. I don't remember looking at the tags to see if this was a comedy. I did chuckle quite a few times. The movie kept me decently engaged for the most part. I also think that this is really funny, that this is the second movie that I'm aware of that takes place in Astoria, Oregon. I think we were talking about it before, and we were trying to figure out what the deal with the story is, besides maybe just looks super nice. But yeah, I don't really have any major gripes about this movie, but I usually don't. I thought it was just an overall enjoyable time. I thought the kids, kids are gonna be kids. I also went into this knowing this was a kindergarten movie, so, like, it can't be too cringy for, going into it. Like, oh, the little kids are being, kid behavior. Yeah, nothing really major. I'm sure I'm missing a ton of stuff, but I'm sure you guys will cover it, but nothing else really major for me to mention about this movie, so without further ado, we'll go ahead and give my rating for Kindergarten Cop at a B+.
That's insane.
Wow.
I can't believe it.
What the fuck?
He also did not get this one was a comedy. I just...
Unfathomable.
Man, I wonder if he's going to catch this, find this mom so that he can save her from this guy. Which of these kids is...
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, or we should just get onto the rankings?
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about it, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't have,
Alright.
I really don't have much to say aside from, it's a weird-ass movie, which does help it be more memorable, but...
Yeah, exactly.
Still
I
fucking
absolutely
weird.
prefer movies to be fucking weird like this and the bland, boring schlock that we tend to get on here.
Yes. In terms of films filmed in Astoria, this is higher up on the list. And I gave
Yeah.
it personally a solid B-, right next to Dylan's B+.
Oh, there we go. And I'm right in between you guys with a B.
I'm also at a B.
Wow.
This maybe is just the most B-tier film of all time. And of course, unsurprisingly, it lands at a B overall.
Oh,
Holy
damn.
cow. I would have thrown a fucking fit if this somehow ended up ahead of Police Story.
Yeah, that would have been a little wacky.
They are shockingly close in rank.
Yeah. I think undeservedly so, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
I'd
speaking
agree.
of movies that get undeserved rankings, Jackson, what movie are you going to be picking for next week, dude?
Guys, I am picking the, what the hell's the year for this film? God damn it, where is it? I lost it. I'm lost in the sauce. Where is it? Okay, I found it. I'm picking the 1959 film, Ben-Hur.
Interesting.
Well, I definitely
What's
can't wait to
Dylan
see
picking again?
Dylan is going to be picking Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yeah, 2008 Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Is that the one with Josh Hutcherson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. I
But
love
it's
that
not
guy.
the one with The Rock.
Damn.
Thank God. I hate The Rock. He's a terrible actor.
Oh, well, hopefully we can watch at least one good movie this week. Jackson, you want to roll the Patreon?
Yes, and of course we got the 2017 film The Ritual, as requested by Grapeseed Oil, aka Kyler Nikolai, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyler, for the Patreon request.
What
Yeah,
the
I don't know
fuck
what to
is
think of this
movie?
one, so we might still not watch a good movie this week. I'm sorry, guys, but I guess we'll have to wait and see here.
What
Yeah, I
is
don't-
this movie? I've never heard of this shit.
Yeah, me
It's
either.
a horror mystery, apparently. I
Okay.
don't know anything about it.
Interesting. Well, Tanner, much like our lovely patron there, Kyler, would you like to tell people all about how they too can recommend a movie?
That's right, everyone. If you go over to patreon.com/Guapish, you can, for only $1 a month, get access to our pre-Guap show, as well as early access to every episode. And you get you get access to our Discord, which lets you request movies, request topics, talk to us, the host of your eponymous podcast here, and you get 500 slime coin.
Wow. Not only that, though, the big thing that you get is, of course, you get your name right out at the end of every single video, just like I'm gonna do right now. Thank you very much to Slayed by Jay, Blake Nedigan, Kyler Nikolai, Uranium-Infused Motor Skills, Toperman Man, Joshua Bean, I'm Gay for Godzilla, Tupbot, Lucas Adet, Hunter, and Jacob Edwards. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow.